Jack is becoming a true Hanma, and in this video, I'll tell you why I think that. Jack Hanma, or Hammer, has always been seen as a mistake of a Hanma or an impure Hanma. Like, judging from what Yujiro says about him, the blood runs thin in him, and not really respecting what he does throughout the series. I can say that the overtraining or drug abuse or just the overexertion of the drugs that he's been taking contributed to him being an impure Hanma or a mistake, at least in Yujiro's eyes. So those two factors would be why he's seen as not a good representation of what a Hanma is supposed to be like. So YujiroHanma seriously looks down on Jack. And compared to Baki gets so much praise in a way, at least until the Oliva arc, where Yujiro said that in the manga and the anime, Yujiro sees him as a challenger, meaning that he sees something in Baki nobody else or not much other people have. Yeah, he sees Baki as a challenger, someone that's strong enough or worthy enough to face him. He's never said anything like that to Jack. He's never thought of Jack at all. It's clear that Baki has always been and is the favorite child. And that's because Baki, he's been doing everything right when it comes to being a true Hanma. Now we're going to discuss what Jack is now doing right to awaken his Hanma DNA or blood. In contrast to Baki, because Baki has been doing everything right in order to awaken his Hanma blood. Okay, this first reason is something Baki and Jack have been doing, or they have done, and that's in the Maximum Tournament, which I think fighting another Hanma is something that can awaken the Hanma genes or DNA or blood. That's definitely something for sure, because in Baki and Jack's fight, and during the end stages, both fighters were so beat up and worn out, and then Baki on his last legs, on running on fumes. On this point, he ended up getting demon back. So Jack, the reason why Jack didn't really have as much of a awakening as Baki's, because literally the series is called Baki, so Baki's supposed to shine. Maybe because Jack isn't his blood was already thin due to the steroids, so his Hanma blood couldn't awaken even if he was fighting another Hanma at that time. Another instance when Baki fought Yujiro. The thing is that awakening the blood when you're fighting another Hanma, it takes time. It doesn't happen immediately. Baki wasn't getting his blood wasn't getting awakened. It was getting awakened to Retsu. Yujiro was saying, Retsu is someone that can make Baki be stronger on a Hanma standards. In terms of their DNA, can awaken the DNA and make it stronger for the person. But Retsu wasn't enough, and Jack is the one that hit the nail in the coffin. So was Yujiro. But for those fights, it wasn't happening immediately. It was during the end stages. So for Jack versus Baki and Yujiro versus Baki, those two fights awakened Baki's fighting spirit of being a Hanma at the very close to the end. So I still think it's something that help a Hanma awaken their DNA. But for Jack, we just have to see when he fights Baki again, because he already fought him once and it wasn't really doing too much for him. But in the next fight in Rahen, things would change and Jack would receive his awakening or pre-awakening during that time. I'm pretty sure. The next reason for Jack being closer to being a Hanma is because Jack had some near-death experience. I really think near-death experience is something that can, again, awaken your Hanma DNA. We've seen it with Baki when Baki was getting trained by Yujiro. Baki's actually lucky because he had hands-on training from Yujiro himself, so why would he not have an easier time becoming a Hanma? Yeah, Baki got tossed off a cliff, jumped off a cliff, nearly died a few times, the poison, like different scenarios. So what I think about the near-death experience is that the Hanma DNA would feel threatened by the situation that's going on, and they would be forced to adapt to that situation. That's my theory on that. Jack had his experience or near-death experience with Pickle 2 times. He had it with Motobe. Motobe could have killed him there. I think it didn't do too much to awaken Jack's DNA because those weren't enough experiences. Like, it's only like 2 death experiences or near death experiences compared to Baki, which is like, I don't know, 5 or 6. So Baki had way more. And oh yeah, Baki also had the Yasha Ape as well. Whoa, Baki could have died so many times in the series, but Jack had like 2 cases, or no, 3, because he fought Yujiro after the maximum tournament, and Yujiro could have left him there to bleed out if nobody was there to save him. Still wouldn't be like, he still needs more. I wouldn't think it's necessary, but it definitely helps. Another famous reason, well, at least I think this one is famous, is the intercourse power-up with a girl. So you just having Baki did the deed with Kozue in the prisoner arc. So it was like Yanagi and Sikorsky, those two prisoners were like, Baki would fight him before, and Baki would lose 9 times out of 10 because they're too strong for him during that time. But after doing the deed, having intercourse with Kozue, like that power up, just, and it being like implied by Yujiro or being stated by Yujiro that thing is so important for a Hanma, and you should be doing it a lot of times a day, like so many times. Yeah, Baki did it, and he got a massive power up, and those 2 prisoners, he ended up completely beating them senseless, and they couldn't stand a chance against Baki. And yeah, that's something that could awaken your DNA. But Jack, it's not been stated he's been with a girl at all. Jack doesn't even have any female friends. At least I don't think. So yeah, Jack needs to be able to do that in order to awaken his DNA. So that's something he's not doing. But I hopefully in Rahen he gets it done. Hopefully he gets it done. He finds someone special and it happens, and he gets that power up, because that would really help him in the long run. Another thing is like traveling. Like, not just traveling on vacation, like traveling and fighting different people from around the world, and using that traveling duration to increase your skills or learn something from other people. Like Baki did it after he fought Yujiro at 13 years old. He came back to visit Mr. Elder Tokugawa in his estate, and then entered the underground arena, and then boom, 2 years later, already a champion. And that's clearly to his time traveling around the world. I think he's been in Brazil, Baki, so yeah, just traveling and taking his time to learn outside Japan. Yeah, Yujiro traveled too. Like, Yujiro traveled across different battle zones and war zones. Like, he wasn't just in Vietnam. He was anywhere that had war, or a environment that could test him. He was always there. So yeah, traveling is something that a Hanma must do in order to, get stronger, to become more of a Hanma. And this is actually something Jack has done, because in the Sumo arc, or Baki Dao 2018, Jack actually came back from, I think, Taiwan. Like, he just got off the airport, off the plane, through the security. Like, they're scanning him for metal. So he got off the airport, and then goes to Tokugawa's house, or his estate, and then Tokugawa was like, how are you so tall, Jack? How are you so tall? It's like, Jack said, it must be the Hanma blood. I was reading that like months ago, and I was thinking, no, I'm not gonna think much of this. I read past it, but now it makes sense now. The Hanma blood is working with Jack now, because Jack before he needed surgery on his limbs to go taller, but now the Hanma blood is working with him and helping him increase height, because he's going out traveling and experiencing, and because of that traveling experience and, you know, bettering himself and learning from other people and fighting other people, it's actually helping him to be a better fighter. The strong is the beautiful.